Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big...
I really think that there's been a sorely missed opportunity for developers to take a step back from competition and take a step forward with community. And if they do that, I think we all win, because community, I would argue, is the one thing that no one's trying to solve. We're trying to solve recruitment. We're trying to solve competition. Tell me, where's community? Honestly, any one of you, go ahead. Shout out what's the national community for Scholastic right now. Any title, tell me.
Yeah.
Where do I go? How do I meet and hang out?
Of the storm. Community, zero.
There's nothing. It doesn't exist anymore. And it doesn't exist statewide. It doesn't exist school-wide. It doesn't exist region-wide. It doesn't exist nationally. It doesn't exist digitally on Twitch. It doesn't exist digitally on Discord. It doesn't exist through any form of skill-based development. It doesn't exist on any form of, skill-based learning or just pure socialization and fandom. Huge missed opportunity. You want to take their time and make it more efficient. In my opinion, tell Riot Scholastic politely to stop what they're doing with competitive, and their integration with LCS should be, Twitch, symposiums and summits and conversations and learning and all sorts of wonderful things, and promoting camps and educational learning activities and RSSA sponsored curriculum. That will move the needle. I don't see any of that.
So Chris, that was pretty much the last topic. You kind of wrapped it in a nice package called community. And I was kind of thinking more from an organizer and a broadcaster point of view around growing fandom. And how do we get fandom around collegiate esports to look more like traditional sports across the board? And, that helps us go out and sell sponsorships in the place, of which trickles down to all our member schools that we represent. But when we go to brands and we can't check that box of, 1 billion impressions and 1 million views, we still are challenged with selling those sponsorships. So my last and final is, do we have any secrets around how to grow fandom or grow community let's just start with on campus?
I got the big one real quick.
Okay.
Best way to grow community: food nights. It has nothing to do with playing the game. I'll give you a real life example. We used to do dollar burger night at the University of Cincinnati. We'd just go out to Bar Louie. We used to have dollar burgers every Wednesday. We'd post in at this time, those Facebook groups, tell people where to show up. 6 people, 12 people showed up the first week. By the third month, we had 40 plus people coming. And it was the biggest revenue night of the week for Bar Louie every week, purely because of us. But we had friendships, we had relationships, we had roommates, we had all sorts of great, wonderful things come from that. And that translated to our LANs, our club meetings, and everything from that. It was nothing beats food nights.
Just like pro sports, we need to focus on tribalism. And the way that you create tribalism is you have to prioritize in-person experience, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of companies trying to become unicorn online platforms, but at the end of the day, I think we need pockets and hubs around the country that serve as regional and local hubs. Once you get a group of people together that share their love for the team that is on their campus, they start to develop a bond around that. You can do that online, but it won't be nearly as effective. Professional esports is having this tribalism problem because it's the majority of it's online. It's resulted in fans following players more so than the teams. I mean, That's a pretty broad topic, though. Like, we're starting to see those trends in traditional sports as well start to occur. People will follow LeBron and specific players on different teams to wherever they are. But I think for collegiate specifically, schools need to create meaningful live experiences. And if we're talking explicitly about fandom, you have to make the students on your campus care about the team first. That's the biggest thing. Either you create a level of pride through community engagement, or through the team itself. At a lot of schools, the groundwork is there for this. Like, there are schools like UBC, Ohio State, with Buckeye Gaming Collective, that have clubs that number in the 2,000 to 3,000 range, right? So they have a base to begin with. At a school like Maryville, like, we kind of developed it the opposite way. When I came in and started building our esports program, we had 3 kids in our esports club. And so we've kind of built the team, and then the club has followed, which is kind of the opposite for a lot of schools. But I think that we have to develop tribalism, and that starts with meaningful live events. And the more that these events, the longer that these events continue to be like only online, the less effective it is in creating that final goal.
Agreed. Doc, you wrap it up for us, please.
I would just say this: clubs ebb and flow based on their leadership. But if all students, all clubs, all groups are given regular and meaningful invitations to come in, use the space, create what you want out of this, then it will continue to thrive despite the change in leadership. I can just imagine that Cincy student group with Chris heavy in the leadership there just being amazing. But there's not always someone with his skill set at the helm. So you just need to be open and look for opportunities to serve, even though it can be more difficult, especially in the scheduling of the space. I know a lot of people that don't like anybody else but the players they're recruited to use their space. As much as we can, if we want to build community, we have to open the space to people that we wouldn't normally see in there and let them do the types of things that they want to do.
One more thing. So, like, on a national level, though, if we want to raise the general viewership of all of collegiate esports and not just different pockets, that's a hard one, because people watch esports to see people do stuff that they're better than them at, right? So naturally, at the collegiate level, we're going to be at a lower level than pro. So it's hard to get people to watch for that reason. But what we can sell are narratives and storylines, matchup histories. And as we start to build a longer history of collegiate esports, I actually truly believe that some of the CLOL storylines are more rich than what exists in Academy and
100%.
and the LCS. But no one's really covering it. No one's really drilling down into it. No one's
Welcome in, everybody, to the booth here, Nerdy Bird alongside Clutch Key. We've got a NJCAAE matchup between the sides of Trinity Valley Cardinals taking on the Northwestern Michigan Hawk Owls. Both of these teams in the same group, of course, group number 6 here in this group. And for right now, Trinity Valley Community College sitting at 4-1 on their record, winning the last 2 games, I should say, by a score margin 3-2 against Iowa Western, as well as a 3-0 against Pratt. Meanwhile, Northwestern Michigan seeking their second win at a 1-4 record for right now. Their only win coming against Pratt Community College Beavers. So for Northwestern Michigan, a key game. For Trinity Valley, an even more key game as it stands, because they are sitting 1 game shy of Dallas College right now, who finishes the group at 6-, or I shouldn't say finishes the group, but sits in the group at 6-0. So plenty of ground to make up for Trinity Valley, only sitting a game behind, but a big game coming up for them.
Most definitely. One could consider this a Cinderella story if it works out in favor of Trinity College, but nonetheless, I do believe we've heard that these teams have faced off before. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. I believe Trinity College came out on top at a 3-0 sweep. So making sure that doesn't happen again is definitely the name of the game. I mean, if you had a 3-0 sweep, odds are this time you're just trying to take one map off, but if you could take 3 maps off, even better.
Yeah, 35 days ago, October 14th, a 3-0 win for Trinity Valley Community College. And so now they're playing yet again here on November 18th, and we'll see where these teams stand. Maybe it'll be a change of pace here, if you will, for Northwestern Michigan, because yesterday we got that new patch coming in. We saw earlier today where some of these teams got a different patch up where May comes back into the pool. Some of the characters get no. Sojourn does not get nerfed at all. So there's lots of things to come up to the patch. And I can see your face just a little bit. There's some things concerning you with this latest mid-season patch.
Okay, so we nerfed Genji into the ground. All right. So he got his, you came out of the cave for your 1.5 season a year, Genji. Now you get to go back in. But Sojourn is, the devs are like, we don't see enough Sojourn play in the lower ranks, so we're not nerfing her. But I'm sitting here like, how do we see Widowmaker play in the lower ranks? That's right. We really totally don't unless it's a Smurf. So let's just nerf Sojourn instead of making her as what I've heard my friends refer to as having the biggest bug in the game, which is she can one shot kill to the head. So that should be something that's a little bit like, I don't know, decreased, maybe projectile size decreased. She's just too easy to get a 4K with. Just getting rail shots off. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot to be said here, and I know there are criticisms going all around, and well, with the ever so lasting Twitter that is going on right now. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. But anyways, Nepal first map coming up, and we'll talk about those patch notes here in a little while. In fact, Zarya may not be a thing anymore for right now, at the very least. Although she's still very powerful, but cooldowns increased for her bubbles and the protected barriers as well. Both of them, both barriers just basically getting an increased cooldown and duration decrease as well. But Genji, Sombra, Junkrat all get nerfed. And Junkrat was probably one of the more surprising ones that got a nerf, because we really didn't see that at least in the higher elos. But Junkrat did get a nerf in the end. Kiriko also getting a different patch as well. So did, I believe, Diva was the only one left. But nothing touched on Sojourn as far as the patch notes concerned.
Which maybe in the future that'll change, but what I anticipate here is probably we're going to go into a Reaper, Sojourn, Winston, Kiriko, Lucio lineup from at least one squad, as that is what one could consider the professional hard meta, but it looks like neither team are actually going to give me what I want, and instead we're going to go with an awkward hybrid composition from one squad. The Northwestern Michigan is going to go with that Reinhardt, but instead of a Lucio, which you typically want, they're going to go with a Moira. So it'd be interesting there. Whereas the side of Trinity Valley is going to have a spam style comp, but Sigma at close range against the Rhine might be a problem if it goes quickly with the
Panex also doesn't care about the nerf. Panex blows on from the Symmetra into the Junkrat. So here we go with the first fight and already point control courtesy of the Cardinals. However, Aerial Ace will take care of that fact straight away. Is traded out. Reaper goes down by the hands of Magui. So right now 1v1 in favor of the trades for the DPS side. Here comes the charging in from Knuckleary, and right now it looks like that charging is going to allow Northwestern Michigan to push right into the Hawk Owls. Even though first flip looks like it's to Trinity Valley, only 8% capped before NWM strikes in.
That's the issue with that spam composition, and that is the fact that the space is necessary in order to maintain control of fights here, and the issue is that you're fighting from one location. If you back off, the point is going to flip, and the question is then, can you get damage out? But the high ground is also flipped over when you lose this point possession. So they have to take this back, and they have to close distance, but they have to be weary of the Reinhardt, who's just able to pelt damage down into them if they're too close.
Well, there's the Junkrat v Junkrat, and there's the spam you're talking about right there. The spam battle won by the Junkrat of Aerial Ace on the side of Northwestern Michigan. So they are holding back for right now. And Phoenix lands a very nice dynamite onto that Lucio for Armelon. So right now has to back off a little bit more, but still attempting to see if they can find an entry point one way or another. They have the Gravitic Flux up. Maybe they decide to use it. Here's Sound Barrier also available as well. Gravitic Flux is indeed used to enter in. Will this find any kills? It lives up basically the tank, but nothing else at that. Reflex and Panics, though, get the go signal to go right on and win the DPS fight. Knuckle Murray, though, still getting the kills that they want as they get 2, and the Earthshatterers out, give them the boost as well, giving the Kiriko Kitsune a rush. You're gonna just charge right in, gets rid of the Ana, and good night to the hopes and dreams of Trinity Valley trying to make a comeback on this. It looks like this is gonna be a fight win for NWN one more time.
Truly, I thought that Kitsune rush and they dropped gates down, they were going to have the opportunity to keep people alive, because you get Suzu quite fast when you're inside of that, but it just wasn't quite enough. However, point does finally flip, but 81% in favor of Northwestern Michigan means that if they get that point back, it's one fight territory. So Trinity needs to play this for this next lineup very like borderline perfect and not lose it, otherwise they're going to lose the round.
Yeah, and yeah, it was a quick flip at that too. I mean, like for Knuckle, I mean, basically got a lot of kills there, but unfortunately in the end, even though they lost their DPSs, it wasn't just enough. So now again from the side, another dynamite kill. This Junkrat has to get back in. Does get rid of the steel trap. The sixth man is now available. We'll start to use it. Not before Panics gets rid of the tank. So now it's back to technically a 5v5 situation. Northwestern Michigan still trying to hold on to this point, or trying to get any flip on this point as much as they can. But when your Kiriko goes down, that basically signals the end of this fight for you. You've only got a Moira, you've only got an Ashe left to go. So the Bob goes for naught, and Trinity Valley holds on.
This next fight, Trinity Valley, they're going to have that overclock. Very close to Shattered, Tire, and Beat. That Beat is very quintessential when going into most ultimates, but the thing that you got to look at here is that Northwestern Michigan has no real fight-changing ultimates. I mean, yes, a Moira Coalescence can do some damage and healing, but if there isn't a lot of directed damage, it's almost useless. So using Beat to just to sustain through this fight and take the fight early could be huge for the side of Trinity Valley.
Let's see if they can get in. In the meantime, it's basically one fight territory now. Trinity Valley holding on, making a quick work of this one, and Reflex finds Phoenix unaware, and the Earthshatter is big, 3 down. Good night, Trinity. Welcome to the Magui Show, where everybody goes down. It's a team kill. Nobody's going to be able to touch, and it's a 100 to 81% victory on the Shrine here for Trinity Valley as they go up in the map 1-0.
Nicely done, Trinity. The question is, can they do that twice? The composition, if they stick with the Reinhardt, could be a little bit rough here going into the next map if we're going to be on Sanctuary. Sanctum, the one with the hole in the ground. Yeah, so Magui swapping over to the Roadhog. Someone's going to be able to go to the bottom of the map and just be able to get some nice, sweet quiet and darkness, whereas Northwestern is going to be sticking on the Battle Cattle. That'll reset. Very interesting. Both teams going with the... No! Okay, Trinity is going with the combo of the Kiriko Lucio. I'm excited to see that one play out. It's definitely... Speed is the name of the game, and it allows Magui to basically do what they want without having to worry about their supports just due to their mobility. Northwestern, that Moira, the Fade comes out. That's easy pickings for the enemy team, so best of luck.
Yeah, and they also, the whole hog and the Kitsune Rush combination, oh my god, that thing is scary when that comes out, if it does come out at all. Meanwhile, Panics, we're going to get the first look at a Torbjorn in this matchup. So, talking about speed, the name of the game, Armelon and Blue lead them right into that little side area, little staircase area, almost gets the hook off. Hawks try to trade hooks, nothing lands on either side, so they'll keep fighting on here for the next about 3 seconds. Arrow Ace with a mine onto Armelon. Gets rid of them for right now, and the Roadhog gets knocked off to the map. Thank you very much from Mario Ace. That's 2. Finds a hook for the 3rd, even though Panics gets the trade-off. It's not going to matter. It's the Hawk Owls that get first point here on the Sanctum.
And we have Magui switching over to that Sigma, basically being like, I'm not going to play the Roadhog v Roadhog. I'm going to put a shield up to prevent people from getting yoinked and turned into pulled pork. The question is, can you trust your team to not be within range of that hook when it's not on cooldown? Communicating when it is and isn't is very important when you're going against a Roadhog that I think only missed 1 hook during that last engagement.
Let's see, I mean, they've got the ultimates right now. You've got the Riptire, but they might not even have the chance to use it. Reflex with a nice kill on the railgun shot onto Phoenix, trying to keep them in right now. There goes the Junkrat, meaning that Junkrat has no more value in this fight. 3 people in the side room. We'll see if they can even try to stall out or even have the hopes to stall out, but no, Trinity Valley just going to rush them right away, keep them in this side room, and for right now, it looks like the game to play is escape with your life. And right now, Armelon and Magui will do no such thing. You do get the hook on reflex off the map, not going to matter when the rest of your team is dead anyways.
Point is almost going to equalize by the time this engage fully starts, but then the question comes down to, oh, okay, Nuke is actually swapping over to the Reinhardt. I like the swap, but the issue is that, again, for a lot of success with Reinhardt, it is a years of old reference, but you really want to have a Lucio in your pocket, and that Reinhardt not having that means that Reinhardt is slow, and when everyone else moves extremely fast in this game, it questions how much value you can get, as we hear the Molten Core get popped to just zone people out of the point with the Coalescence in response by Northwestern Michigan.
Here we go. The Riptire is out, but the charge onto Armelon already means that there's no sound barrier coming up anyways. Aerial Ace able to find a kill with that Riptire, but not before Nuclear Ray gets a kill of their own. It's a team kill. It's a team wipe, and Northwestern Michigan's going to cap, and they're going to get the lead right back. So, hey, good play overall from them.
Going into this next fight, again, looking at that ult economy, we got Phoenix, Bob is online. Grime is going to be very close to that Amplification Matrix, very close to Shatter as well. But we've got Kitsune Rush, we've got Overclock, we have Beat and Lift. Trinity College really could just win with Overclock and Lift, or theoretically just Lift if they can grab a squishy or two and make sure that the Suzu has already been used from... Oh, never mind, I'm completely goofing up to make sure that the Immortality has already been used. There's Lift. I don't think Bap is in line of sight anyway. And that's a 3-piece for Magui.
Yeah, Magui gets the triple lift, and will lift up the team for a flip here, 54% to 72%. 3 ultimates coming online for Trinity Valley College in the meantime, or rather Trinity Valley Community College in the meantime. So the Cardinals look to line up something here, maybe to see if they can get an entry in, but Northwestern Michigan coming up on 3 ultimates of their own, 6-man. App Matrix also available. The turret's out for 10 seconds here. Nuclear Ray, where are you going? Looking for the flank here, potentially, with the Shatter available. Are you going to be able to land it? No, oh my, I thought it got stunned out for a second there. I thought their Shatter got stunned out, but we'll avert from using it for right now. Immortality Field is gone for MF Grind, so right now, Nuclear Ray's just going to go right onto the point, and Northwestern Michigan is going to be able to flip this in the meanwhile, so that rotation works out in their favor. They do get rid of Pandex in the meanwhile. The Shatter is out, and the Shatter goes for nothing. The Shatter absolutely nada, because it gets knocked away from that in the meantime, so the staircase blocks it all. And for right now, Northwestern Michigan's got a fight that they cannot win, so TVCC are going to be in the driver's seat.
That whiff on the Shatter was real unfortunate for Nuclear Array. Sometimes it happens. I really enjoyed seeing how we had Grime and Blue both respond to one another's ults using Kitsune Rush and Window. They basically nullify each other, but not enough time to reach the point, and that means Trinity Valley wins.
Wow, not enough time to reach the point at all. And so Trinity Valley, the team right now that is 1-4, or rather the team that is 4-1, sitting right behind Dallas College, off to a wonderful start, although close as it was. Trinity Valley Community College winning Nepal 2-0 here. Play of the game coming from Aerial Ace, who did a phenomenal job on that junk ride while they had it. So the junk ride making do with a lot of work, especially with some of those early picks going on there. So Nepal is theirs to keep on both the Shrine and the Sanctum. And loser picks here in this conference. So for Hawk Owls right now, for Northwestern Michigan, I mean, the next map coming up is Hybrid. What do you take at this point if you want to have a chance against this team? Because there were some highlights going on there, especially coming towards maybe the first half of that fight.
Okay, so truly my question to you is, when we're discussing hybrid maps and it's a map 2, is there really any other map than Kings Row? I have requested in so many broadcasts. Oh, I think the next map is actually Push. So
Oh, next map is Push. Okay, so sorry about that. I mixed up the order.
I get to avoid the suffering of having to watch Kings
for
Row
one more
second.
map, because Hybrid is the third map. My apologies. I got them mixed up. So right now it is Push coming up here.
I get roughly, 8 minutes of breathing room because we're most likely going to see Kings Row. I have begged so many teams to throw a wrench out there. Be creative. Pick something else. I mean, there is some new hybrid maps. The audio is really wonky on some of them, and it makes it very painful to play on them for some players, and I totally understand that, so you kind of want to dodge the Overwatch 2 hybrid maps. But please, don't just pick Kings Row.
Well, you get to avert that for a couple of minutes because we do still have to go through push. Although some people would agree, I believe the Adlersbrunn when that came out, the lighting effects were very bright. I should
Zarya
say.
was like a neon star on Adlersbrunn, but Paraiso, as well as I want to say it's the one that with the fire truck. I always forget the name.
Midtown.
The audio in 0.3 for both of them, like the audio reflection is really strange, and players have a hard time telling where anything is coming from because everything's stacking on top of itself just due to the way that the audio system is working in those areas. It hasn't been fixed yet. I think before the next balance comes out, they should fix that because it literally makes the game unplayable for some people because they rely so heavily on audio cues. So if anyone is familiar with those issues, I highly advise you dodge those maps and go with some classic Overwatch. But classic Overwatch means King's Row for map 3. But we can
I'm saying Grand Central Station is such a nice place that
but everything is so loud, both literally and in Overwatch. But I mean, we got push next, so we get what? We get New Queen Street. Coliseo is an option, as well as there's one other one that
as well as Esperanza. Yeah,
I like all three. Coliseo, a little bit rough for the Rhine v Rhine in the middle because it kind of turns into a stalemate. And if you're looking to your main tanks to really set the play style and set the tempo control for a match, don't go Coliseo if you both want to go on Reinhardt and you anticipate the Rhine mirror matchup, because that's going to rely on people taking the proper angles and always 100% focusing down the same people immediately. And it's a little bit rough. If you want a little bit more freedom to have people take angles and things of that nature without having to go on a full-blown flank, without having LOS of your supports, do Esperanza. That's my suggestion.
I think Esperanza is a very nice map to just to play on in general. But I mean, you've seen a lot of the teams in Overwatch League choosing to go to Coliseo because of those long sight lines with the Sojourn, and we saw the Sojourn earlier on. I believe it was for Northwestern Michigan, who have the map pick here, and we will see. But in the end, it is the new map coming up here. Esperanza will be the next map choice for the side of Northwestern Michigan. They'll choose sides here in a little while coming up. Also, a quick note for subs for the Hawk Owls. Carp is in for MF Grimes, so a new substitution there on the line of the support side. So, I mean, side swap, really doesn't matter too much, especially on push, so they could stay the same way that they are right now. It really would only come down to Hybrid and Escort on which side they want to pick. But for right now, Trinity Valley College basically looking to go up 2-0. Meanwhile, Hawk Owls would need this win to keep something alive here, especially going 1-1 would be a big thing for them after losing 2-0 on Nepal. So, I mean, Esperanza next map coming up. I mean, we can talk about this map a lot. Newest map here on the Overwatch 2 scene. Didn't see this on beta or when it first came out on Overwatch 2 side because it was only New Queen Street and Coliseo that we saw, but now we get a new look at Esperanza.
I mean, okay, so you mentioned the importance here of Northwestern getting this one in their favor, possibly pushing it to the 1-1 scoreline. But it's important to remember that there still is that third map where they can start to swing things back in their favor. It's not the easiest thing to do, but I mean, if push is not your main squeeze, to be blunt, not a lot of people enjoy this map mode. It's almost like Assault 2.0. You can always rely on that hybrid, but right now, to put things back in your favor, it would be great to see Northwestern actually tie things up here. They actually went with the Diva play here, so possibly seeing some counter dive opportunities for them. Just relying on Diva to do that, though, can be rough.
Yeah, and when your Bastion goes down, that's a lot of your damage gone and dusted here. For Northwestern Michigan, it's not looking great, especially when this Mercy's being chased down to the depths of hell. They've got the kills they want. It's a quick cleanup here, and right away as the robot gets unlocked, Trinity Valley off to a great start, already getting some pushes off, but that dive working in their favor.
I mean, Winston's the meta when you look at at the higher level echelons of gameplay, to looking at you Overwatch League, but Pandex going with that Genji, a little bit interesting. I mean, true Genji mains will say he wasn't totally nerfed to the ground and you force him no matter what. Reflex going on the Tracer, quite the interesting pick just because of the way that the game has gone. Tracer can just be more of just an annoyance character rather than the playmaker, but sticking with that Ana from Trinity Valley, I'm shocked it's been working out as heavily as it has been, considering how Ana is not really in the meta mix as heavily as some of the other supports.
Here comes the dive right in. Magui's in the back line. Meanwhile, same thing could be said for Nuclear Ray, who's in a lot of trouble. They are able to get Pandix out. That's some great healing coming up from Northwestern Michigan to keep this Reinhardt alive and well. They get rid of Blue, which means the only healer you've got left is this Lucio, who is running away for their life, trying to just stay up, trying to keep the Winston alive. It will not work in their favor. They pop the rally here, even with only the Lucio left to go. I mean, just to get the shield down maybe, but it is their fight win here for the Hawk Owls.
The question is, was that rally really necessary? Because remember that the armor will come off very quickly after the entire rally has expired. I mean, you get it now, yes, but could you have utilized that during an actual, like, right before a team fight?
Yeah, that might be the difference here coming up, because there is a nano boost, there is a blade coming up. Trinity Valley's actually got every all possible.
Pulse.
There's the pulse bomb out, that gets 2. Immortality field isn't existing, and now this Bastion's in a whole lot of trouble. The rest of the back line starting to fall, even if Panic does go down. It's a 3-1 trade for right now, and this Trace is in a whole lot of trouble, but it doesn't matter when the rest of your team just follows up with you. 1 pulse bomb, 1 Primal Rage is all that makes the difference as Trinity Valley flips it back.
I mean, okay, so Trinity Valley is playing to the name of the game here of Overwatch. That is speed and tempo control. Granted, yeah, the Ana not so much, but that Ana doesn't need to worry about anybody but Phoenix, and I have not seen Phoenix egress onto Blue, I think, once in this entire map thus far. Ana doesn't need to worry about getting dove out so long as their positioning's okay. They're in charge of pushing the same bot, pushing the bot, and they're getting it to stay far back. The northeastern composition here is relying on keeping Ryan alive and pumping damage from a distance, but you can't keep that distance up if you're getting dove. So it's time to change things up here if you're Northwestern Michigan.
Yeah, and this Reinhardt might be sent to spawn to make that decision here in a little while, but gets healed back up. Blue does take Phoenix down in the back line. So, I mean, hey, that's a fight. That's a fight win potentially if you're able to come back fast enough. And that Prime does have the artillery form ready to go, should they need it, but not even going to get a chance to use it. Reflex says goodbye for that chance. Phoenix uses the Death Blossom, but to no avail. No kills popping up, and that kill feed for it. Crow's falling, Marcross falling oh so low there. Falls down to the hands of the Bionade assist there, and Reflex again just causing so much trouble in this backline. Right now, Northwestern Michigan can't even try to get a point here. They got to find a way to flip this all the way back. They got to find a way to prevent a cleanup here. There's a stick on the pulse bomb from Reflex as he dashes away, and MF Prime just not having a great time whatsoever here on the DPS end, just trying to make sure that they've got any space possible. Trinity Valley does back up for right now as Magui does go down, but still 114 meters. That is tough to come back from.
I can't argue with that. Kind of what the statistic that's been shown is that 80% of the time, if you win the first fight here on push, you're going to win the entire map. So the snowball effect still applies here, and it basically means it comes down to one fight, and it's the first fight that happened almost 4 minutes ago now. With that being said, I'm still looking at Northwestern's comp. They've changed one thing, and that's the Echo. I'm really wanting to see this Brigida swap out in favor of a Lucio to help that Reinhardt, or even going with the Kiriko Baptiste. It's not the most dynamic combo, but it can definitely help. Brigida does not offer the same amount of value that she used to in Overwatch 1, considering stuns don't exist anymore. I mean, yes, if you want to have your shield up to prevent a rock, that's fine, but your shield bash does not stun. It will not stop a Genji in the middle of a blade. You can use your flail to gain a couple of, meters of space to save yourself, but it's not going to do as much as it used to. Bash is more of a movement ability. Brigida has been nerfed into the ground intentionally. Will we see swaps? We've seen one. That's the Winston. I'm here for it. Now we have the Drunkard pick as well as we pull out the Rally. And we're unfortunately going to lose our Kiriko because I think they used Suzu too soon.
Yeah, Suzu gets used way too soon. Panix is able to run rampant, run free here with that blade. And you're talking about swaps here. Maybe we will see the swap for the Brigida as they come back online. No, Brigida stays online here for Northwestern Michigan, but they're going to just change in desperation mode here coming into the final 10 meters of the map. Gravitic Flux is out. See if this finds any kills. It will not, but meanwhile, again, Cal's not having the best time at all. Reflex gets a 3K. Looking for more. That's a team kill. They'll complete the map here on Ispadan. So 142
Reflex,
meters.
no
There
BM.
is no chance here for for Northwestern Michigan to make a comeback. TVCC on the way to a sweep. They're up 2-0.
I really want Northwestern Michigan to understand the importance of playing the rock, paper, scissors game when it comes to Overwatch. And that is counterplay. And I understand wanting to go with either comfort picks or heroes that you understand more than the newer ones. That is fine. But the issue comes into the play there, that is, are you going to be playing this hero at a level that is capable of countering your own counter? And if you're not, then you need to become a little bit more of a meta slave. And yes, while the side of Trinity Valley Community College is not playing entirely meta, they're still forcing more meta picks than the other side, and they're not getting countered for it. I don't see a lot of counterplay happening. If you're playing Deathball composition and you're getting dove out, don't go spam because you're just going to get dove out because you're having issues with tempo and spacing control. Go dive v dive. Play the counterplay. Play just counter dive. Go after this Ana who's literally had no pressure this entire game.
Yeah, that Ana just had so much space to roam, right, and so much space to play with. Had a nano boost, I believe, 2 or 3 times that game as well. I mean, maybe even twice, just because of the way that they were pushing and didn't even really have a chance. I mean, the final scoreline there, they only got, I believe, 13 or 18 meters from looking back at it, but 142 meters, a long way to push still. And yet they were able to complete that with, I believe, over 2 minutes left on the clock. So a great job there by the Cardinals, able to win, like you said, the rock, paper, scissors, and winning and making sure that 80% stat line keeps on going. But the next map is hybrid, and we talked about this a couple of minutes ago. And guess what the next map is going to be? It is going to be Kings Row. Sorry, it's not going to change. I think we lost Nerdy Bird.
Okay, so hear me out. I understand the necessity to pick the Kings Row because this was coming out from Michigan's side. It's not Trinity Valley that gets to pick this. You are comfortable on this map. I get that. But here's my 2 cents on that. So is the other team. So is every other team that has ever competed in Overwatch. It is called Scrims Row for a reason. If you really want to start creating these reverse sweep opportunities, which teams that are in the position of Michigan right now, which have been struggling for the season, have been consecutively having to go to a third game and hope and pray that they can start the reverse sweep, you need to get creative. You need to stop picking the standard pick of Kings Row. You need to start practicing a different map, practicing a different composition, and running with something that will be unpredictable and not be something that a lot of teams are easily prepared for. But instead, we're going to go Kings Row. We're going to see probably what is the most perfected map in the world of Overwatch thus far, that has the most perfected compositions as well as fight engages and locations out of any map here in Overwatch, whether it be collegiate or the professional scene, just because of how frequently we see it.
Yeah, and it's just the way that this is being set up right now. I mean, you're right. You're down 0-2. If you're the Hawk Owls right now, throw a wrench in everything, right? Just throw the kitchen sink, throw the house out the window. Just try to make something happen, right? Maybe you choose an Eichenwald, or maybe you choose some other. I mean, maybe even Midtown, like we were talking about, even with audio problems and all. But no,
heck, you could have gone Gibby.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could have gone anything else,
oh,
but
wait,
no,
the push.
Yeah, or no, yeah, no. Gibraltar is escort.
That's just escort. But for hybrid maps, we could have gone with Eichenwald here, or just something a little different. I understand we don't have like Blizzard World, we don't have Numbani right now, but I agree with you. We could have gone with even just a newer map.
But no, but no. Instead, we get Kings Row. That's the map we have seen a lot more often than not. There should be a stat actually to see how many collegiate matches have gone to Kings Row as their hybrid map. But in any case, we move on in and we take a look at the team comms here, and MF Grimes going to play the Symmetra. They're going to try to rotate them all the way around and try to force point right away here, 15 seconds in. Trinity Valley sees that right away, and Magui's just going to pop off. 2 final blows already, looking for a third here on the Ash, where the Mercy has to pull away. And that is looking good for the side of Trinity Valley right now as they play cleanup. Panic slashing away for a 3K. That's a quick fight here for the Cardinals to win.
Okay, they did lose Magui, but I mean, you lose your Reinhardt, and I think I saw Blue giving out candy there on the point. But you have so many people low that Panda is just able to get multiple dash resets and eviscerate everybody. Now, this Widow also gained a lot of intel. They're able to tell their team how many spawned and if there was any form of staggering or if anyone got bad spawn. Here's the question I have for Trinity College, and that is, because of their comp, they weren't able to gain space. Is that going to now be a problem here? They didn't take it early. Instead, they waited for the full 5v5. Doesn't seem like it, though, because Panda's already turned it into a 4v5.
Yeah, Panic's on the side of Trinity Valley right now. They did swap sides from what we had earlier, so Trinity Valley on the red side They are attacking first, but Northwestern Michigan trying to do their best to bring it back here. They do use the res onto Phoenix. Doesn't matter. When Panix is in your backline, you should run, because Panix is causing so much havoc right now in this backline. He's already got 2 back there on both of the DPSs, looking for the Mercy to go down. Armelon will clean that up, and yet another fight win. Consistency, the name of the game for the Cardinals, as they win another one and advance.
Okay, so not seeing swaps from Northwestern at this point is really... Okay, Anna. That's very strange. Typically, it's the Lucio that's in charge of pushing the card. We are not seeing any swaps from Northwestern. Truly, I think playing into the Widowmaker and an Ana who's throwing a lot of antis out, they could have swapped and kept Nuke over on the D.Va, but it may not have been Nuke's main comfort pick here. But antis in this game, because there's only one other form of cleanse, coming in the form of the Suzu, is really difficult to deal with. But that Shatter picks up 3, but can they follow up on the kills? They find 2. People are getting real low. Magui's gonna get low. Phoenix is gonna pick them up. Northwestern Michigan struggling right now.
Yeah, they got absolutely nothing. What an absolute nice Earth Shatter there coming from Northwestern Michigan, who finds their first fight win here of this game. Or rather of this round, I should say. So 350 on the clock. Looking at the ultimate percentages now, you've got Carp with the App Matrix. Phoenix coming up with that 6th man, maybe an overclock at the same time. Trinity Valley's coming up on 4 of the 5s. Reflex now on from the Widowmaker to the Tracer. And Phoenix taking care of Panix is a big one. Armelon maybe might not want to use it unless they think they can win this fight, especially now that you lose Nuclear Ray. You could potentially use it, or maybe you don't even have to. Right now, they're staying on top of this side. Cal's able to find a res in the backline onto Ray, but is slept for right now. Counter charge back out. Pulse Bomb not available just yet. Reflex though chasing down everything, and now the Earth Shatter. Clear dominance from Magui to get that Earth Shatter kill onto Nuclear Ray. Finds a 4-piece for Trinity Valley as they add another 90 to the clock.
4 minutes, 35 seconds to push this last point. The thing that will make or break this defense right here for Northwestern, even if they choose not to swap. I've given up on begging for swap requests. I get it, you can't hear me. But it is high ground control. Right now, they are all playing very linearly. They're all on the low ground. No one's looking to take over high ground positioning and get a better angle. Instead, they're letting this Tracer just chill out over here, not take any damage, and we get a free Genji blade because there's no defensive ult. Down goes 2, Magui goes down, Carp goes down, and down goes Cows as well.
Yeah, Panix going off for 3, make it a 4K right now. 4 minutes left to go. Looking in the home stretch and looking down right the pipe of of Northwestern Michigan's defense right now. Only got a couple of meters left to go. Bob is stopped short. Bob hits the Genji up in the air, which means that Bob is short. So even if the 6th man is out, it's not going to be able to contest, which means everybody else has to contest. They do take care of Panix though in the meanwhile. So Reflex right now just sitting back here, and nobody is noticing.
Check your corners.
Nobody sees Reflex. Nobody's
Reflex,
turning around.
you're getting away with this when you shouldn't. One thing I'd like to point out though is that while the Bob did launch the Genji into the air, and I really wish that this Tracer could spot it out. Instead, we're gonna lose Big Grime, MF Grime very quickly. The one thing that Bob did do was it locked down the entire lane, so it forced Tracer to stay over there. But because everyone funneled out of one door, which is not something you want to be doing, you need to be wide sweeping and taking over as much space as possible. It made it so Tracer could just sit there.
Yeah, the Tracer just sat there, got the Pulse Bomb off. Trinity Valley able to get all 3 points, and with an impressive time bank as well. 3 minutes and 3 seconds on the clock to complete the map there for TVCC. So the Cardinals looking good for the sweep right now. Hawk Owls need to do a lot here to try and bring it back for right now, even try to match the time bank. But first priority, finish the map, because right now Trinity Valley Community College looking very good to advance their record onto a 5-1 start here in group stage. But I mean, you were talking about swaps earlier. I mean, what do the Hawk Owls need to do? Because they've had that Mercy the entire time, and you had other players as well going in. But the way, even if Trinity Valley was playing a little more linear, I mean, it still worked out in their favor that they just rushed them down.
They did, but again, I stress the importance that this Ana has not been challenged. How do you challenge this Ana? You go dive. There is literally nothing on the side of Trinity Valley that can stop Northwestern if they take high grounds and they look to engage on an Ana. Sure, if you are solo engaging, you just let your D.Va jump in, they're going to get slept and get the Overwatch treatment, and they're not going to live. However, if you have a Diva, you have a Lucio, you have a Kiriko, you have a Genji or a Tracer, or you have a soldier on high ground that's also aiming down at this Ana because you guys took a high ground rotation here as opposed to just forcing it through mid, that Ana's not going to live unless she goes to natural cover. And odds are, if she goes takes natural cover, she will not have line of sight on someone else on her team, and then you pick the next squishy to go after. I'm just not seeing smart rotations coming out from Northwestern Michigan, and I'm not seeing strong target priority from them either. Again, playing linearly, all on the ground. No one looked at Reflex on the Logzo up here, and he's getting free reign.
Gets already a first kill onto that Junkrat. Meanwhile, a second one will fall. MF Grime trying to use this soldier to the best of their abilities. They've got a 2-for-3 trade right now. It's not even going to matter. Northwestern Michigan gets shut out in the very first fight. And so right now, 30 seconds into the game, or 30 seconds into the round already, and you were talking about how they weren't looking at Reflex. Well, Reflex right now, 48% to an ultimate. Magui, 60%. But Northwestern Michigan making a few trade-offs here, as it looks like Nuclear Array looking to go on to the Winston instead, maybe to give a little bit more of a dive possibility. But we'll see if they can utilize that fast pace. But when Reflex is hitting shots, it might just be all but over for your team right now. Gets rid of the Moira very early on. Lois traded out for Panex. Trade for trade here, but when you lose the support, it's kind of a backup situation. Magui able to find a double kill with that fire strike through the hotel room, and now is just looking for this Lucio who has to back away. Another quick fight win here for Trinity Valley.
Again, how does Reinhardt win a fight? He forces you into a tiny space. All of you went into a tiny room where Reflex could have either just used arrows that bounce off the wall, using storm arrows, or just had a Reinhardt going swinging, and that's exactly what happened. There's a perfectly good high ground. The side of Trinity Valley is giving up a disgusting amount of space. They're playing on points. Surround them from the high ground. Stop doing the same thing over and over again and just going in their faces. It's obviously not worked. It's time to change.
Yeah, it's not going to matter though when your Earth Shatter hits at least 2 there. Magui's just going to pop off to swing away the hammer. This Moira in so much trouble and doesn't have a Bionade on that either, which means Reflex is just going to get healed back up. Halfway through the time bank, not a single tick, not a single line in sight for Northwestern Michigan, who are looking at match point right now. Trinity Valley looking to complete the sweep here. Dragon Strike available for them, as well as the Nano Boost. I mean, who would you put the Nano Boost? Probably on the Reinhardt here, just to swing away, as Magui's been just powerful all game long. Swing away the hammer, Magui. Got everything going for you. Why not keep it going? Nuclear Ray, though, in the backline, and you finally challenge the Ana, which you were talking about. That gets rid of Blue.
Yes!
So now with the possibility where Northwestern Michigan is back in this game. Sound barrier knocked away for a little while, which means the only person that gets that sound barrier is Armelon. A great play there by Nuclear Ray and Carp, and a combination play. The sound barrier goes for nothing, and the Hawk Owls are going to get the point.
Okay, do that again. Also, Nuke, credit where credit is due. You got insanely low and you disengaged, recognizing you had just enough time to get off the point, grab a mini pack, and in that amount of time get your primal without having to do really anything, and then hop back in with the primal rage. That discipline, that tempo control, absolutely quintessential. Now do it again.
Now, Reflex hit the shot early on, so MF Grime tried the flank, and they can't try it again for right now. I mean, they've got to wait a couple of seconds if they want the soldier back in. But 3 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. They do get the payload, and this is their first map point. Oh, God, Reflex.
Look at
Reflex
Panda.
is hitting shots. Reflex is on. We need to know what Reflex is drank in between breaks right now, because that Hanzo is just popping off, and domes are coming off of heads right now. The Winston will dive right in. Dragon Strike's not used just yet. The Earth Shatter is out. Gets down the Winston with a sound barrier there from Carp to counter it. So right now, again, the overclock is out at the same time. Magui's just going to charge right into Nuclear Ray. When you lose the Winston, you start to lose the fight. That's the signal here. They're going to go ahead and run away. The Riptire's out. Gets 2. Both of the DPS is gone. Reflex has yet to use this Dragon Strike. That might cost them here in this fight, as the runaway game works out in the favor of Northwestern Michigan. Another backup scenario where you got to go back, rewind just a little bit, and that's exactly what Northwestern Michigan forces.
Okay, so Northwestern Michigan's now pulled out the battle cattle. I'm all here for the Orisa gameplay. As the tank in my heart is very selfish, the Orisa is a very selfish tank. The issue is, are you showing all your cards at once? We use Spear Spin, we use Javelin. Fortify's also been forced. There's everything on that Orisa. Used Reinhardt, run him like a book, came in, shattered, gets a triple.
Oh my God, Magui just pops off. Dragon Strike early on, gets 1. Armelon 2, Magui 2. It's a team wipe here as the Hawk Owls Just cannot find an answer right now. 1 minute and 46 seconds on the clock. No ultimates online for Northwestern Michigan. None online for Trinity Valley, although you're coming up with a sound barrier coming in a little while here in about 5%, so you're probably going to get this for the next fight. Carb's still 30% away from it, and the only thing you've got going for you, maybe a tactical advisor, maybe even, and also you're going to have a coalescence coming up at the same time. So 2-1 in favor right now. But again, Reflex, how many times have we seen Reflex get the opening pick on a headshot? I mean, this is insane the way this Hanzo is playing right now. Got to go back in the bot and count it at this point, especially on this map. Coalescence pulled out early on for Cows to maybe make this push here and keep this game alive. But when Panix gets another kill onto MF Grimes, sounds trouble here. No tactical visor available either. Cows and this Lucio of Carp in a lot of trouble. And right now, Northwestern Michigan sitting with a minute left.
Okay, the answer is to respond to Reflex's just absolute logzo, is respect him, and also stop going through Archway. Go to the right of your spawn, go to the high ground, hack all the way through it, and come down the alley that's behind this Reinhardt on their right-hand side. Like, come on!
Oh boy,
well, free reign.
The overclock is out. We'll see. The shield is up to try to protect that. So meaning that overclock basically goes all for nothing unless somebody decides to peek out in front.
Reflex.
Meanwhile, here comes
ICU.
the tactical visor out. Reflex is looking for a backline. Meanwhile, Earthshatter out. He may not even need to go for the backline. Magui's got two, including the Earthshatter, making a third Dragon Strike there in the backline to secure everything. But Magui's just gonna swing away for 4. Magui showing dominance with 7 seconds left to go. Broom peeks out of the closet. I don't think anybody's going to touch in time. And with that being said, Northwestern Michigan shown the door, shown the broom as the Cardinals of Trinity Valley Community College win 3-0.
Reflex definitely showed a lot of discipline and patience in that game. I mean, Magui, yes, of course you're going to play the game. You had some wicked shatters, and you had some disgusting multi-kills. Of course, I'm using these negative terms in a positive light. I'm not insulting you. They were absolutely gorgeous. But with that being said, I'd like to point out that this Hanzo took the time to get out of the fight and walk around knowing that he had faith and trust in his teammates to take care of what was happening and sustain while he wasn't there, to drop a dragon that would either A, zone people or eliminate people as they were forced back into a linear pathway by the Reinhardt. So that sort of discipline is really huge. Also holding strong angles and being patient with peeking those angles from that Hanzo. I love to see it. You hate to play against it, but you got to learn how to play around it. And at the end of the day, the adaptation for Michigan just did not happen soon enough.
All right, well, yeah, I mean, in the end, though, there's a reason why Trinity Valley got that earlier sweep on October 14th, and yet again, history repeats itself from 35 days ago. The Cardinals able to win on a sweep back on Nepal 2-0, on push, a complete map on Esperanza, and on Kings Row winning the final map there 3-1. We will take a short break. We'll see if we can get an interview in before we wrap things up here. And again, final score 3-0. We'll be right back.
The largest organizations on any university campus. This is a very blanket statement. Could be wrong for you. It's right for many. Campus ministry and Greek life are always the largest groups on campus. Why? It's because of the concept of family. Let me explain. With a club or a program, many people identify, oh, I am a gamer, but I am also A, B, C. And usually it's I am A, B, C, and I'm also a gamer. Not everyone is a gamer first and foremost. And you're only going to capture that population if you're promoting purely competitive and purely esports. And so I said food nights and social activities. I'm really stealing from campus ministry and Greek life, because what you want to do to build community at your school is to make it so that the thing that you're doing is the number one thing in the students' lives. Now, that's a very selfish thing to say, but it's a true statement. For you to grow the largest community, your community needs to feel that the thing that they're a part of is the most important part of their social campus experience. That's why Greek life is so successful. That's why campus ministry is so successful. And when you treat esports as a program of just competition, practice, and development, that's an outlet. That's not a way of life. not for at scale. Not when 55% of the campus body at a Division I school identifies as a gamer in some way, shape, or form. You're not going to touch that 55%. You're going to touch 5%, maybe. You're probably going to touch 0.05% or 0.5% at a Division I school. And so what you really need to do is build that community authentically by, as Doc said about Dan, what are the people prioritizing, and do that. And how do they enjoy their life? What would they find meaningful? Do that. And then do everything else, because the financials and everything else, the planning and all that matters too. And that's why we have a talent problem in Scholastic Esports. But I will wrap up and say, for the national level, Dan's completely right on narrative. But I'm not worried about that, because the only thing we need to build community nationwide is just time. Mm-hmm. We are 2 generations away from critical mass. And all it takes is that the current generation of students to grow up, get in the professional workforce, and have kids and raise them on the things that they were fans of. It's how baseball grew. It's how basketball grew. It's how rugby and all those other sports grow and sustain.
Cornhole grew.
But in all seriousness, all we need is time. All we need to do is ensure that our products get better, our opportunities become more authentic, accessibility remains open, and monetization remains enough to us to continue to what we're doing and grow.
Hey guys, KTAD here, and just like that, another season of ECAC Esports regular season play has come to a close. Over the last 8 weeks, we saw a crazy amount of hype competition from some of the best collegiate esports has to offer, and as usual, you guys have me one last time to break it all down and to show you guys what we thought were some of the top plays this week. And honestly, guys, I don't have much more to say. Just check it out, because I think we've got some really incredible clips here. Let's take a look. In our opening clip, it's Professor Dementium with a straight boot off the stage to kick things off for Bloomfield.
Got himself one. Kick back off stage, though. But the air dodge is going to be that Bowser. He'll do it again, and he'll also bring himself that down smash, so he gets quickly back before that Falcon's able to take any sort of advantage. But, well, you're gone. The spikes come through. It's a clean kick to wrap things up. And, well, he's got one. He's got one stock for his troubles.
Up next, the duo of Donkers and Robeast have some things to say with this beautiful 1-2 combo to close the door on Albany.
Hit the intersection and go straight up in the air for Robeast, who's going to work Central Missouri into the offense. Flip reset's a good one. The pass down to Donkers, and he finds the net. A 3-goal deficit in Game 3.
I gotta say, Curtis, it seems like after these two teams came out of Game 2, right? Again...
Welcome back inside of the booth, everybody. Clutch Key alongside Nerdy Bird here, and joining us inside of the booth, we have from the winning team of Trinity Valley Community College. It is Magui who joins us here inside of the booth. And Magui, a great job from you and your team, going 3-0 in that game, and now advancing on to a 5-1 record, sitting 1 game behind Dallas. How does that make you guys feel?
Honestly, we're all pretty hyped. Like, we do our best, like, in practice. It's just a lot, like, to take in, honestly, with how our season ended last semester. It was not as good as we were this semester, so we're just pretty hyped.
Okay, so my question for you is, you guys didn't really seem to be running quite the meta composition. Are you guys more of a team that says, well, to be blunt, screw the meta and play to your own strengths, or are you prepared to have to actually take on the full meta composition to go against a team that is intending on running it and expects you to run it too in order to counter them?
We don't really care about meta. We just do things, honestly. Like, I don't really run Monkey, so I did play him in the push map, but I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So Yeah, I do whatever Blue tells me to do. So
Gotcha. Is Blue kind of your captain then, or
yeah,
your in-game
he
lead?
is.
Gotcha.
Well, you guys, one of 5 teams, 1 loss overall, going into the rest of the season now. I mean, you still chasing the #1 seed overall in Group number 6, right up alongside Dallas College Richland, who haven't dropped the game just yet. Your only game that you dropped to them are looking forward to the rest of the season when you face off them, trying to get that #1 seed overall. What's going to be the mindset going in for the rest of the season here?
Just basically just win. Like honestly, we're just doing our best to do like good, if you know what I mean. And like
Mhm.
Yeah, I got you.
yeah, it's just a lot of communication and stuff. Like a lot of us hang out together, we play together. So our chemistry is really good. Like we feel like our bond can't be broken, honestly.
Yeah, and when the bond is not broken, everything is mended, and it looks like everything's working out for you guys in your favor as well. 3-0 game for you guys, and advancing on to a 5-1 record, and a good job in this one. And for you, Magui, we'll let you go now. Thanks for joining us, and good luck with the rest of your season.
All right, thank you.
And that was Magui in here inside of the booth. Again, another 3-0 win for them. And overall, I mean, again, sitting is only one team out of all the teams here. You got to remember there are 7. There are 7 groups here made up of 6, so 42 teams overall, and one of 5 teams that only have 1 loss. It's a total of 7 teams overall that have no losses, but still a wonderful job and a wonderful performance for them on the season. Nerdy Bird, thank you very much for your good work here throughout the whole thing, and for another cast with you. I just want to thank everybody on the back line as well, Colton, our producer, as well as Cool Scoots on the observing side. Coming up next, Horizon and Soph bring you right here on Esports U, the ECAC next week of League of Legends as Oakland University takes on Long Island University. For all of us at ESU, we'll see you next time here for some Overwatch, and coming up next, the League of Legends. See you later, everybody.
Take a couple too many fights. Solsta as well is going to be able to take a couple of fights, winning them both. It's 1v3, and Novacorium won't be able to do anything. Johnson, Wales.
At number 5, it's Saltonics with this huge flank onto Cole College to secure Temple of Anubis for his team.
Right now, it's going to be just destroying it straight up. Maybe with the Coalescence, maybe the Supercharger, but that Riptire could just immediately rip through.
Here's that Riptire. It does move Joker, but it could have been a catastrophic play. Now Nightbolt is pulled all the way off the point, and that's an easy one. Tonic's coming in with a triple off of that crucial Rocket Barrage, and that is all of them off the point.
Now it's down to Joker just to get the touch onto the point. Tracer.
Coming back to the Bloomfield versus Keen matchup, it was a clutch finish from Zenipu as he finishes off Brandon without dropping a single stock.
No, one more lease on life. Lease on life indeed for Brandon. Looking to hold the ledge, but a recovery from Zenipu. He says second time's the charm. He'll send him to the moon, and once again, Zenipu will not drop a stock.
Last packing our way into the number 2 spot though. It's a 4K from Butter to cement the lead for Providence College.
Back roads around the high ground to try and avoid that as much as possible.
Oh my absolute days! Here was me looking for that Transcendence to counteract the grab, and no, it was just a big fat go button. In comes the pulse bomb, down goes Sudi Poly Wildcats.
Phil, I can't remember the last time I've seen...
Last packing our way into the number 2 spot though. It's a 4K from Butter to cement the lead for Providence College.
Not much more. That tap can go a long way in the latter half, right? Now Retna bringing out that Stimmy, trying to get the opportunity to move the team in forward. Okay, there's that showstopper I was thinking about. It looks like D-Nuns is going to have that show stopped. Sal, not particularly far behind, a 4v2. But really starting to wake up here on the race.
Yeah, wow, so impressive. And 4K there, just going straight through the entire team like a bulldozer. Will not stop until all are taken down.
And in our top play from the last week of regular season play, it is a nail biter last second goal that will keep you guessing until the very end.
Their own open, a little bit of high pass, you angle it in, but it's just off the top of the goalpost.
Top of the goalpost coming in deep. Matrix able to find something here. The demolition comes through. 7 seconds left for a true game win, but in overtime, feeling incredibly likely. But tied out of a wide open goal. No! No! Orbital, the waffle iron has been flipped, and Farmingdale finds themselves up 4-3. 2 seconds left on the clock. The only hope for Louisville to win this out is with a kickoff goal. They cannot make a single mistake, or they will.
And with that, I mean, what more do you guys want me to say? It was a crazy week to wrap things up, but it's really just been a crazy season overall with the addition of Division A and what I personally think is some of the most competitive action here in collegiate esports. I mean, what a season, and there's only much more to come. With the playoffs starting on April 4th, you guys can expect to see a lot more action that will continue all throughout the month, and that will wrap up on the week of April 25th. Now, if you guys want to stay up to date on all of that, make sure you follow us on Twitter at ECAC_esports, or follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/ECAC_esports. Mondays and Tuesdays, matches will be lighting off at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesdays, it is going to be the doubleheader of Rocket League and Overwatch at 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys are tuned in. And as for me and the rest of the crew behind the scenes that works on not only just the production, but these highlight videos for you guys, we just want to say thank you for joining us for what has been another incredible season. And we look forward to so much more that we're going to bring you guys in the next school year, in the fall and the spring and beyond. We've got a lot of great things coming, so stick around, don't go anywhere. Come back right here to this channel, to this Twitter, to this Twitch, to this YouTube, wherever it is you see this. Stay tuned because even more is on the way. Thank you guys once again. I've been KTAD. It's been a wonderful season, and we'll see you next time.
First, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hi, so my name is Caitlin. I'm a part of Farmingdale State College's esports club. I am captain of the Valorant Green team. I am a second semester sophomore at Farmingdale State College, and I'm 19 years old.
Okay. Do you like Farmingdale so far?
Yeah, it's really great. The program I'm in is very specialized, and it's not offered that often in the East Coast, so it's pretty nice. I enjoy it.
And what's your major?
My major is aerospace professional pilot degree.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Thank you.
So, is this your first time on an esports team?
No, so I've been a part of the Valorant team for 2 semesters, and this is my 3rd semester, and it's my first time